Hello once again. Hey ladies and gentlemen. Today we've got me, the Dufflet, in the bottom right, and then Zodiac, the Protoss, in the top left, bottom left. Today we're gonna be dealing with a Void Ray all-in. I'll spoil it now because my God, I hate those so much. And I was able to survive one. With macro. An adept comes by. Gets past my terrible excuse of a wall. Thankfully my reactor's up now. But again, I'm slacking. I'm too busy typing and memeing when I could be making a cyclone. I finally get it going. And here's the Void Ray. I put the Marines in the bunker, realized the bunker's in a bad spot and can't actually defend my barracks. I'm able to push the Void Ray off of the barracks, but I'm not able to snag the kill. At least the bunker gives me a place to hide my Marines, if anything. But I'm in a tough spot because he's able to harass my barracks, and if that goes down, I'm in a pretty bad spot. I get the Cyclone up, but you're gonna see that I'm pretty bad at microing my cyclones, and I lose them very easy during these situations. It's less than ideal. I decided to fly my second base onto the ramp of my main base because I can't spread my defenses out that thin right now. I haven't gotten mag field accelerator yet either. I'm kind of trying to do a lot at once. You can see I'm finally getting my starport up. I'm getting my NG bay up, that way I can start placing some turrets. And that's kind of where I deviate from Vibe setup. He really seems to be a proponent of ignoring the turrets, but I find them too useful. But where I'm sticking with Vibe setup is I'm pumping out Marines. So I feel like you thermals build, you do less Marines and just focus more on setting up a ring of turrets. But I do like having the Marines. They're good at buffering for the Cyclone, because as you can see, these Void Rays, when he gets a critical mass, absolutely evaporate Cyclones. I really thought I was dead here. I get my next Cyclone up and I decide maybe I need to be a bit more defensive with them. I start getting my turret ring up, which helps me have a little bit of a closer spot to fall back to with my Cyclones. I believe I'm going to lose that barracks, unfortunately, but my starport's up and going now, and I'm building replacement barracks already. He gets an adept in, but I focus more on the Void Rays and just send some SCVs to deal with it. I should probably be select firing my Marines in Cyclone right now, but I'm pretty sure that I'm just A-moving them. I get high sec auto tracking, or whatever the fuck it's called, because I know that I'm gonna really have to lean on my turrets. My barracks is in an alright spot, but I'm sure they're just gonna clap it. Maybe not, maybe not. You can see I just don't have a good enough Cyclone count yet, and I'm not making one right now because I'm supply blocked, which is really awkward. Right here you can see once I start getting the Vikings up with the Cyclones, with the turrets, that's a lot of DPS, and I'm able to clear his Void Rays here. That was a huge mistake on his part. The Vikings do quite a bit of damage. Now for the part that we love about Void Ray all-ins, when they send in the ground army and all you have are Vikings. I'm really happy that bunker's still up near the ramp. Honestly, I don't know what I'd do if he sent all of these adepts right into my mineral line. So we'll thank him for that. I tried kiting them with the Cyclone. I don't know if that's the best move. He doesn't really have any Vikings up, so it's not terrible. I'm pumping out SCVs out of both of my bases, which is helping me keep a sort of econ lead. I have a lot more workers than the Protoss, and he hasn't made a second base, if we check here. But the problem is, I'm mining out. He's mining out too, but he's all-inning me, so he has the upper hand with that. The Void Ray really spends a lot of time killing that bunker. I used the SCVs to attack the Adepts, that way I could focus on the Void Ray problem at hand. And I knew that I had a lot of SCVs to spare, but after I kill the Cyclone, or after I kill the Void Ray, I bring the troops back. I'm just kind of keeping the army all together. I want to be decisive in my battles right now. I have no room to spare losses. I thought the Protoss would have had a second base by now, so I was really panicking, especially because I'm mining out. He's only pumping out one Void Ray at a time, so it's not awful right now. But he's got an Immortal down. I got a tank up. I got that going for me, which is going to help me an absolute ton with the ground army that he's throwing in. Now I finally find room to break out and expand, and this is going to be massive for me because I have so many workers and not a lot of mineral patches. The Protoss starts setting up a second base of his own at a gold base, which will allow him to kind of keep up. But he does have less workers than me. Right here, the Protoss comes to try and break my second base. I've got enough Vikings to handle his Void Ray count, but I really don't have a ground army. Thankfully, he happily jogs right into my tank line. And also, I'm able to keep my command center safe by using all the SCVs to repair. And although I know that I'm going to be losing SCVs, I was making 2 SCVs at a time for a while, so I know that I'd likely have some to spare. Over here, we're able to kill his ground army again. So I'm not in a terrible spot. Now I just have to hold the line, compared to earlier where I knew that I had to hold the line and push out. Bought myself time, baby. I set up a bunker on the high ground to help me with the defense of the ground army, and a few turrets, because those are so helpful at keeping those Void Rays out. I started trying to break the line a little bit, but the second that he starts moving troops towards my army, I'm gonna fall back, because it's quite a difficult job to kill Protoss when there's goddamn like 8 shield batteries healing their troops at once. And I don't really have to push them out right now. I'm not trying to expand to another base. I've already got my natural up. I've already got a little bit of time just to stock up my troops. I start building a third base because macro. And again, that's why I've been so defensive and trying to be so tight with my troops, because I'm trying to win the late game. If I can just keep making SCVs and bases and slowly pushing them out when I need to expand to a base, I can win. Because he dedicated so much resources to an all-in. Right here was really foolish. Again, I didn't really need to push him back, and so I took some losses that really weren't necessary. I just wanted to see if I could shut down his Void Ray rush once and for all, because those shield batteries are so fucking annoying, right? Absolute cheese. I start repairing my units with this little SCV because I'm really tight on army supply right now, so I want to maximize it as much as I can. And it's not too much micro just to tell an SCV, hey, repair a Cyclone and 2 Vikings. So the Protoss is leaning heavily on his gold base now. If we look at the mineral count in the bottom, we're about even. Right here is just beautiful. I've finally got a good number of Vikings up. And goddamn, our Vikings absolutely great against Void Ray rushes. I'm also able to get this tank online to start bombarding his shield batteries, which is absolutely huge. Because each shield battery has, however, like 100 energy. I don't know if that's 1-to-1 with shield, but if so, that's 1, 2, 3, 400 shield. And if I can drop it down to like 200 shield, then we're chumming. I took a really bad fight there. If we watch the instant replay, I had my Vikings fight against void batteries that were, or void rays that were being healed by like 3 shield batteries. Absolutely unnecessary losses, especially when I have a turret right behind them. I think the biggest thing was I was too focused on my tank that I didn't realize that my Vikings were getting obliterated. And this is a heavy setback because as we've been seeing, the Vikings have been instrumental in my defense against the Protoss' air army. At least we've got some turrets up. Those turrets are really helpful. I could really just stop pushing for a bit right here, especially because I have a completely open opportunity for a third, which I find right there. I think I've taken a whole lot of unnecessary losses trying to push into that massive shield battery. You've got to treat the shield batteries almost like you treat bunkers as when you're going up against Terran. They're strong defensive structures. It's weird because there's not a big wall around the Protoss' army, but that doesn't mean that it's not, you know, providing extra protection against attacks. Right here's a huge moment. I decide to do the medevac drop. I accidentally send a few Marines with it too. We'll ignore that. And it's kind of a tough decision to do that because my defense is gonna be less than ideal, missing a bunch of Marines and a medevac. But I figure all of his attention is on the front line right now. So if I can stab him in the back in any way, that could be huge for me. Especially with these all-in sort of builds, where if you do any damage to their precious little economy, it can be game-winning. Because if you look in the bottom of the map, or the bottom of the screen, he has 22 workers. I have 39. So his workers are a lot more precious to him. And right here, I'm basically depriving him of all his mining. If you look at his income in the bottom, he's now making around 300 to 100 income for minerals. This shut him down. I'm making 2,200. And now he has the Tempest. This is a problem. Because again, I've really been focusing on macro. If you look in the top left, well, we'll look at the fight real quick. But I'm making +1/+1 for my ground army. But this part's great. He loses 1 Tempest, just 1 Tempest. Well, it's still a good dub. And the reason why that happened, if we hit back, is I've still got these 2 Marines just hammering on his gold base. And alas, my medevac drop, I picked back up because I killed all the probes that were at his gold base. And I drop him down in his main base. So now he's heavily distracted because both of his bases are about to die. And so he's either looking at those. Actually, we can see what he's looking at. He's getting told his base is under attack. He watches it go down while he's casually harassing with his Tempests. He's really trying to micro the hell out of these. They're up in an offensive posture. Now this drop happens in his main. And there we go. Yeah, he's watching his main get destroyed. Meanwhile, his Tempests are out on the front line, untended to. And I kill one of them, almost kill the other. And that was a huge moment for me. Any Tempest that we can kill is just huge. This is a kind of iffy spot. I try to hold back his ground army because I wanted to protect this tank. Ideally, I should have left the tank on the high ground because I just lost the majority of my army, and that's really not good because he's got a healthy ground army. That bunker is coming in clutch, and I decide this is kind of the all or nothing moment. So I pull all my SCVs because I know I have a surplus and I can lose them, and what really matters is killing his ground army. And as you can see, his ground army is really getting messed up from just like 6 Marines and a Marauder. And that's because I sent all of the SCVs out, so the Ground army was either shooting at the SCVs and getting messed up by my army, or the SCVs were doing their little bit of damage. And that was the game winner. So thanks for watching. I hope you learned a thing or two about defending against Void Ray All-In, because my god, I hate those so much. I hate those so much. Alright, good luck out there. Thanks for watching, have fun. Subscribe and click that little notification like right here or whatever to check out my other educational StarCraft commentaries. Bye.